Hey guys, how are you? Good morning to each and everyone out there. So this is your educator Shweta Sharma, and today I've come here to teach you guys about another topic, which is nationalism in India. So I'll be telling you few things from this chapter, and as you all know, this is a very important chapter from the examination point of view. So I'll be explaining you two topics today, which is one is all about Satyagrah, and the second would be Rowlatt Act. So in case if you're interested, and because this topic is very much important from the exam point of view, so just make sure that if you guys are having any doubts, those are cleared, and you can put your question in the comment section. And also apart from that, if you want to reach out to me, you can follow me on an academy to message me further. So guys, today's topic is nationalism in India. Again, I'm repeating. So I'm going to be starting right now. And again, I'm repeating. If there's any question, please do let me know in the comment section so that I can help you out with that. Before I start something else, here's my introduction a little bit. Let me just tell you guys something about myself. So my name is Shweta Sharma, and I'm a plus educator on an academy for social science class 9th. I also teach class 10th on YouTube sessions, and I also teach political science to class 12 students. Apart from that, I am from the capital, New Delhi, and I have completed my graduation from Delhi University, Gargi College in political science honors. Yes, so that was about me. If there's any more questions, you guys again can put your questions in the comment section. I'll be checking them out, and do let me know if there's any doubt that you're facing. All right, guys. Okay, so I think we can start with the topic, just making sure that if we are aligned on the same page. And I'll be quickly giving you a lot of insights about how this chapter works. There are many topics which are very much important, starting from the Satyagraha, and after that, Rowlatt Act. And apart from that, non-cooperation movement, खिलाफत movement, civil disobedience movement. So बहुत सारे ऐसे टॉपिक हैं इस चैप्टर में जो काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हैं. राइट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग, जब गांधी जी इंडिया आए थे साउथ अफ्रीका से, जब वो इंडिया आए थे 1915 में, उसके बाद से उन्होंने क्या क्या चीज़ें की इंडिया में, वो सारी चीज़ें बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हैं और आपको सारी चीज़ें पता होनी चाहिए. यूजुअली एग्जाम में इस चैप्टर का वेटेज बहुत ज़्यादा है. सो इन केस इफ़ यू वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड द टॉपिक्स, देन यू हैव टू रीड इट. एंड देयर आर मेनी डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज, मेनी मूवीज अवेलेबल बेस्ड ऑन what exactly had happened after 1915 when Mahatma Gandhi came to India. So all you can do is to check out all those videos, and you can also check out this video for your information. And again, if you have any doubts, hit to the comments. I'll be answering all your questions over there. Okay guys, so just quickly about the chapter, what we are going to do. In this particular chapter, I'm going to be keeping very short. I'll only tell you some things about Satyagraha and what were the various kind of Satyagraha, what is the meaning of Satyagraha, और किस तरीके के सत्याग्रह इंडिया में हुए थे जब गांधी जी वापस आए थे. उसके अलावा मैं आपको रॉलेट एक्ट के बारे में भी काफ़ी चीज़ें बताने वाली हूँ, जलियांवाला बाग इंसिडेंट, एंड हाउ इट लेड टू वेरियस थिंग्स विच इवेंचुअली लेड टू नॉन कॉपरेशन मूवमेंट. सो ये सारी चीज़ें मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूंगी एक एक करके. एंड अगेन, if you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section. All right guys, so basically अगर आपको ये चैप्टर समझना है तो आपको थोड़ा सा रीडिंग करनी पड़ेगी, और उसके बाद जितने भी क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, मेक श्योर दैट यू आर मेकिंग नोट्स आउट ऑफ दोज क्वेश्चंस, एंड जस्ट ट्राई टू गेट a lot of insights about the topic because it's a huge topic and it contains a lot of weightage. Okay, so start करते हैं very beginning से. मैं आपको कुछ चीज़ें बताने वाली हूँ. Just make sure that you are understanding and we are on the same page. So I'll be explaining you a lot of other things. Okay. All right, guys. So first thing that I'm going to be telling you is about महात्मा गांधी. बेसिकली ये पूरा चैप्टर जो है ये महात्मा गांधी के पर्सपेक्टिव से लिखा हुआ है. इट्स मोर लाइक अ गांधीयन फेज. जब वो इंडिया में आए, उसके बाद उन्होंने क्या क्या चीज़ें स्टार्ट की और क्या क्या चीज़ों के लिए गांधी जी रिस्पॉन्सिबल हैं, ये सब पूरा इस चैप्टर में मैंशनड है. सो द फर्स्ट लाइन कम्स इन, महात्मा गांधी अराइव्ड इन इंडिया in 1915, and the time was actually just give me a sec. Okay, so the time was yeah, so the time was actually January. I think that's not working. No problem, we can actually work without it. So basically, Mahatma Gandhi came to India in the month of January 1915 from South Africa, where he was practicing as a barrister. इंडिया में आने से पहले महात्मा गांधी ने सत्याग्रह साउथ अफ्रीका में भी स्टार्ट किया था, क्योंकि जस्ट लाइक इंडिया, साउथ अफ्रीका वाज आल्सो वन ऑफ द विक्टिम्स ऑफ ब्रिटिश रूल. सो ऐसा नहीं था कि सिर्फ इंडिया में ही ब्रिटिशर्स ने इंडियंस को कैप्चर किया हुआ था, उनके ऊपर रूल किया जा रहा था. बहुत सारी ऐसी कंट्रीज थी, स्पेशली अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज लाइक जिम्बाब्वे और साउथ अफ्रीका. इनफैक्ट अमेरिका वाज आल्सो वन ऑफ द countries which suffered from the white minorities rule. सो बेसिकली यहाँ पर हम अपनी बात करने वाले हैं. तो गांधी जी साउथ अफ्रीका से 1915 में वापस आए थे, एंड आफ्टर फाइटिंग द सिविल राइट्स ऑफ द इंडियंस देयर फॉर अबाउट 20 ईयर्स, सो अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 20 साल तक उन्होंने साउथ अफ्रीका में ब्रिटिश रूल के अगेंस्ट फाइट की. ही ब्रॉट विद हिम a new impulsive to Indian politics, and that impulsive is something that we call as सत्याग्रह. So सत्याग्रह एक हिंदी का वर्ड है, और अगर इसको हम तोड़ेंगे तो बनता है सत्य के लिए आग्रह, which is something what we call as, you know, the seek the redressal of the truth. अगर आपको जानना है कि सत्याग्रह क्या है, here it is. He introduced सत्याग्रह which he had perfected in South Africa that could be practiced by men and women and young and old. So सत्याग्रह एक ऐसी चीज है, एक ऐसी फिलॉसफी है, एक ऐसा वर्ड है जिसका मतलब होता है यू नो टू सीक द ट्रूथ, टू फॉलो द पाथ ऑफ ट्रूथ, सच. ओके. The militants confronted the repression of the colonial state violently. पुराने टाइम पे क्या हुआ करता था कि जब गांधी जी नहीं थे पिक्चर में, तो बहुत सारे फ्रीडम फाइटर्स थे जो इंडिया की फ्रीडम के लिए लड़ना चाहते थे, लड़ भी रहे थे बहुत सारे लोग, लेकिन उनका जो तरीका था that actually involved a lot of violent activities. But Gandhi ji, on the other hand, practiced the movement of Satyagraha, wanted to practice the non-violence. So with Satyagraha, non-violence came into the picture. Gandhi ji, in contrast, adopted non-violent methods to mobilize the masses and mount pressure on the British, which means जब गांधी जी इंडिया में आए तो उन्होंने सत्याग्रह, जो कि उनकी बेसिक फिलॉसफी थी कि अगर आप सच के साथ हैं, then there's no power that you can defeat. Like you can defeat each and everything in life, be it about the Britishers. लेकिन उनका जो तरीका था, it involved non-violence. Just like बाकी लोगों की तरह उन्होंने वायलेंस का साथ ना देते हुए नॉन वायलेंस को सपोर्ट किया, एंड ही made sure that everyone was taking non-violence into consideration and everyone was following non-violence activities without the use of any kind of violent activities. In this lesson, we shall see how Gandhi transformed the Indian national movement. At the end of this session, I'll be giving you a proper timeline जो इस chapter में mentioned है, starting from 1915 to 1932, basically जब तक पूना पैक्ट बना था. तो इस चैप्टर के पढ़ने के बाद मैं आपको एक टाइमलाइन भी बताने वाली हूँ जो कि काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है इस चैप्टर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. सो विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट. स्टार्ट करते हैं सत्याग्रह से. गांधी जीज अर्ली सत्याग्रह इन इंडिया. Gandhi ji regarded Gopal Krishna Gokhale, whom he had met on previous visits to India, as his political guru. जिन लोगों को नहीं पता है, गोपाल कृष्ण गोखले इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द इंडियन पायनियर इन द फ्रीडम ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस. सो गांधी जी के जो पॉलिटिकल गुरु थे उनका नाम था गोपाल कृष्ण गोखले. उनको फॉलो किया करते थे बहुत सारे लोग, हमने सुना है कि गांधी जी को फॉलो किया करते थे, लेकिन गांधी जी जिसको फॉलो किया करते थे उनका नाम था गोपाल कृष्ण गोखले. सो ही मेट हिम एंड ही वॉज प्रिटी मच इम्प्रेस्ड बाय हिज aura, pretty much impressed by his vision about politics. On his advice, Gandhi ji traveled the length and breadth of the country before plunging into the politics. So Gandhi ji ने उनकी advice पे decide किया कि अगर मुझे इस country में थोड़े भी changes लाने हैं, so I will have to jump and I will actually have to see how the people stay here, how the people live here, without before I do something about the people. So that is exactly what he did. This enabled him to understand the conditions of the people. It is on one of these journeys through Tamil Nadu that Gandhi ji decided to discard his following robes and wear a simple dhoti. So while traveling through India, he saw a lot of changes. He saw how people used to live. उन्होंने बहुत बार देखा कि लोग usually, you know, there are many people who are unable to wear anything because they can't afford it. So this affected him so much that he changed his entire clothing and he came and started using khadi, and he only started wearing dhoti ever since. So ये बहुत सारी चीज़ें हुई थी गांधी जी के साथ जब वो इंडिया का एक ट्रिप ले रहे थे, और तब उनको पता चला कि ऐसी बहुत सारी सिचुएशंस हैं, ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं, ऐसी बहुत सारी कम्युनिटीज़ हैं इंडिया में जो यूजुअली जिनके पास पहनने को कपड़े नहीं है, खाने के लिए खाना नहीं है, एंड दैट इज़ व्हेन ही डिसाइडेड दैट ही वांटेड टू डू समथिंग फॉर द इंडियंस, एंड दैट्स व्हेन सत्याग्रह केम इनटू द पिक्चर. So let's look at the first satyagrah that ever happened. The first satyagrah that ever happened was Champaran Satyagrah. Now I'm sure काफ़ी लोगों को पता है कि चंपारण में इंडिगो की खेती हुआ करती थी, लेकिन एग्जैक्टली कैसे हुआ करती थी, क्या सिस्टम था, आई बी टेलिंग यू ऑल अबाउट दैट. सो दिस इज बेसिकली लाइक अ पिक्चर विच इज़ विच इज़ अ वेरी ओल्ड स्टैम्प, पुराने टाइम का. सो चंपारण एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट है बिहार में, अभी भी है. So basically what used to happen, there was a practice which used to happen in Champaran जिसका नाम था तीन कठिया system. So now under तीन कठिया system, it was actually exploitative system which used to be followed during the British times. अब हुआ क्या करता था, under this system all these farmers of Bihar, of Champaran, they were forced to grow indigo. Indigo यानी कि जिसको नील बोला जाता है हिंदी में, it is a natural dye that we use to color the clothes and various other things. So all the peasants, all the farmers, they were forced to cultivate indigo, and like on the 3/28 of their land holdings. अब प्रॉब्लम इंडिगो कल्टिवेशन में नहीं थी, प्रॉब्लम आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स में थी. जब भी बेसिकली आप लोगों ने पुरानी क्लासेस में भी सुना होगा, जब भी हम इंडिगो कल्टिवेट करते हैं तो एक छोटी सी प्रॉब्लम आती है. वो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जब भी हम इंडिगो कल्टिवेट करते हैं, द लैंड बिकम्स अनफर्टाइल, इट गेट्स डिग्रेडेड, because it's a kind of crop which is supposed to be grown at a very rare level. I mean, like, you can't really grow it every other day or every other month. It requires a lot of it requires a lot of area, first of all, and second, apart from that, it requires uh, like, it requires a lot of area, plus it also requires a lot of fertile land. और इंडिगो को ग्रो करने के बाद जो लैंड बचती है, उसको हार्वेस्ट करने के बाद वो उसी शेप में नहीं रहती है, इट बिकम्स अनफर्टाइल. सो दैट वाज वन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स विद इंडिगो कल्टिवेशन. और जो तीन कठिया सिस्टम था, इट वाज एक्चुअली फोर्सिंग एवरीवन, स्पेशली द फार्मर्स, टू ग्रो इंडिगो. अब ये उनके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लमैटिक था. प्रॉब्लमैटिक ऐसे था कि गांधी जी recommended the abolition of तीन कठिया system, thereby ending the oppression of the peasants by the indigo planters. Because उस टाइम पे इंडिया से बहुत सारी चीज़ें एक्सपोर्ट होके यूरोप में जा रही थी, क्योंकि उधर का जो लाइक इन यूरोप द सिचुएशंस, द सराउंडिंग्स इन द क्लाइमेट वर नॉट फेवरेबल फॉर इंडिगो प्लांटेशन. सो दोज पीपल यूज टू कम हियर, दे यूज टू force the peasants to grow indigo for them, and then they used to export it to England so that they can make money, they can do the trading part. ठीक है. So अब फायदा उनका लेकिन नुकसान हमारा. So ऐसा गांधी जी ने रिकमेंड किया कि इस सिस्टम को बंद करा देना चाहिए, and that's how he visited Champaran. He tried to see, and and he kind of was successful in making this Tinkathya system stop. So the success of Champaran Satyagrah, which happened in 1916. So the only thing which you need to remember over here is 1916. गांधी जी का जो चंपारण सत्याग्रह था, पहली बार सत्याग्रह, वो 1916 में हुआ. उसके बाद there was another satyagrah which he did, which happened in 1917, which we call as Kheda Satyagrah, and then followed by Ahmedabad mill strike, Ahmedabad Satyagrah, which happened in 1918. So basically तीन सत्याग्रह हुए थे टोटल. स्टार्ट हुआ था चंपारण से, फॉलोड बाय 1917 खेड़ा, जिसमें बेसिकली लैंड रेवेन्यू के अगेंस्ट गांधी जी ने फाइट की थी. वो खेड़ा गए थे, विच इज़ अ डिस्ट्रिक्ट इन गुजरात, and wherein a lot of land revenue was used to be collected from all these peasants and all these people. So Gandhi ji was completely against it, and later on, next year in 1918, he visited Ahmedabad to stop, to basically participate in the mill strike, कॉटन मिल स्ट्राइक, जिसमें उन तीनों सत्याग्रह में उनको काफ़ी ज़्यादा सक्सेस हासिल हुई, और लोगों को पता चलने लगा दैट ओके देयर समबडी named as Mahatma Gandhi, and he's trying to work in favor of people, and that's when people realize that okay, we have a freedom fighter amongst us, so we need to support him, and that is where his popularity grew among the masses, right? So that kind of helped him grow as a mass leader, and that's how exactly Gandhiji became Gandhiji after the Satyagraha. So these were the few Satyagrahas which we have already discussed about. आपको एक चीज़ याद रखनी है कि चंपारण सत्याग्रह it happened in 1916, खेड़ा सत्याग्रह happened in 1917, the year followed, and Ahmedabad mill strike, Ahmedabad Satyagraha happened in 1918. So it was the consecutive year that everyone needs to remember. ठीक है, अब प्रॉब्लम थोड़ी सी यहाँ पर आती है कि कई सारी NCERTs में the date, the year is mentioned slightly different. Somewhere it is said that Kheda Satyagraha also happened in 1918. Ahmedabad happened in 1917. So there are some miscommunication which are there in NCERT books. But the correct timeline is Champaran in 1916, Kheda in 1917, and Ahmedabad mill strike in 1918. So that's something which you guys need to remember and need to follow the same in exam. In case if you have any doubt related to any date or year, please put your questions in the comment section, or else you can message me. I will be happy to help you out with that. So ये तो था पहला सत्याग्रह, पहले कुछ सत्याग्रह जो गांधी जी ने लड़े. लेकिन अभी बात आती है सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट सत्याग्रह की, which led to a lot of changes in India. Now, the kind of satyagraha now we will be talking about is Rowlatt Satyagraha and Jallianwala Bagh massacre followed by that. So, Rowlatt Act was a kind of act which used to be called as a Black Act of 1919. रॉलेट एक्ट एक ऐसा एक्ट था जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया उस टाइम पे भी पार्लियामेंट हुआ करती थी, बट द ओनली डिफरेंस वाज दैट द पार्लियामेंट यूज्ड टू बी कॉल्ड एज इंपीरियल लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली. आज के टाइम पे हम पार्लियामेंट को संसद भवन बोलते हैं, but at that point of time parliament was there, but the only difference that there were few Indian members and the majority members were Britishers. So the parliament at that point of time enacted a law which came to be known as Rowlatt Act of 1919. To be very specific, it got launched on 22nd March 1919. So you have to remember the date and the year very specifically here. I have seen a lot of people playing safe in terms of date and year. So guys, please make sure that you remember the days. If you can't really remember the day, just try to remember the year and try to put that year in your answer sheets, because I've seen a lot of answer sheets and you guys don't put it, so it just creates a lot of problem. You might not get full marks, so please, whenever such question comes, whenever you have to explain all these things, just make sure that you are putting your answer, like you're putting your dates or maybe the year if possible in your answer sheets to get the full marks. Okay, so let's talk about Rowlatt Act a little bit. अब Rowlatt Act ऐसा act था which gave enormous power to British India. Okay, so it gives enormous power to British India. What kind of power? Number one, you can arrest anyone without giving a logical reason. According to Constitution, if a police act arrest any citizen of the country, they can't really arrest them on the basis of suspicion, number one. But even if they do, they have to have a solid reason of why exactly they are arresting anyone. Second, they can't really arrest anybody without a warrant, which was actually quite contrasting, because Rowlatt Act gave the right for the police, for the British police to arrest anyone without giving a reason and without having a warrant. तो अगर suppose मैं Britishers का like अगर मैं British India का part हूँ अभी भी, and suppose I am somebody who belongs to British police, I can arrest anyone without giving a warrant. So how sad that situation would be. So that was number one thing. Second thing, the police, the military, everyone had the power to detain anyone without presenting them in front of the judge. Detention का मतलब होता है किसी को पूरी तरीके से कैप्चर कर लेना और उसके राइट से उसको बेदखल कर देना. So at that point of time, Britishers, the police, had the power to detain anyone without actually presenting them in front of the judge. Right now, if you're detaining anyone, you have to present them in front of the magistrate. But earlier, this right was taken away, and that is why it gave again enormous power to the Britishers. तो ये कुछ चीजें हुई थी जिसके बाद गांधी जी and this act came to be known as the Black Act. Gandhi ji called it a Black Act, and in protest called for a nationwide satyagraha on 6th April 1919. गांधी जी इस एक्ट से इतने ज़्यादा परेशान हुए कि उन्होंने इस एक्ट को ब्लैक एक्ट बोला and he decided that he's going to do a nationwide satyagraha on 6th April 1919. Remember the date for the fast, for the satyagraha. It was to be a non-violent struggle with fasting and prayer, and it was the earliest anti-colonial struggle spread across the country. तो गांधी जी ने डिसाइड किया कि इस एक्ट के अगेंस्ट वो एक फास्ट रखने वाले हैं, एक नॉन वायलेंट सत्याग्रह करेंगे 6 अप्रैल 1919 को. बट प्रॉब्लम ये थी कि it actually did not turn out to be completely non-violent in some parts of the country. In Punjab, especially Amritsar and Lahore, the protest against the Rowlatt Act was very intense. Because आप लोगों ने भी सुना होगा, बहुत सारे ऐसे फ्रीडम फाइटर्स थे who actually belonged to Punjab, and they were very much sentimental when it came to Indian independence and all that. So the struggle against anti-Rowlatt Act was actually quite intense in Punjab, especially in Amritsar and Lahore. तो basically अब हुआ क्या? Now let's talk about it. Let's talk a little bit about General Dyer's brutality. Now, General Dyer, his full name was General Reginald Dyer, and he was the person who was taking care of Amritsar, at that point of time. He was in charge of that particular division. So what happened? It was the day of Baisakhi. 13th April 1919 का दिन है, बैसाखी का दिन है. That's how you can remember it. It was a festival for all the Sikhs, all the Siddhars. So all these people, they tried to celebrate Baisakhi. A lot of people just wanted to celebrate Baisakhi. A lot of people wanted to protest. So कुछ लोग ऐसे थे जो protest करना चाहते थे, कुछ लोग ऐसे थे जो बैसाखी celebrate करना चाहते थे. अब सारे लोगों ने basically मिलके, there's a place called as Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar. So they collected over there. A lot of people collected as and they did the public meeting. As it happened to be the Baisakhi day, which is the spring festival for Sikhs, the villagers assembled there in thousands. And guys, again, just to give you a clear introduction, just to give you a clear disclaimer, a few of the people wanted to celebrate Baisakhi, few people wanted to just protest. So सबका intention अलग-अलग था जलियांवाला बाग में जाने का. सारे लोग, not everyone wanted to protest against the government. When General Reginald Dyer, that was his full name, on hearing of the assemblage, surrounded the place with its troop and an armored vehicle. जब जनरल डायर को ये बात पता चली that a lot of people in thousands, they have collected themselves in Jallianwala Bagh, without even a further delay, he asked his army to surround the park, and he he ordered a fire, proper fire, for the next 10 minutes. So General Reginald Dyer ने basically ये introduction, like instruction दिया अपनी army को कि go ahead, surround that particular area with all the arms and ammunition so that nobody is able to get out of it, and fire till the time your guns are out of bullets. So ये हुआ था exactly, and the firing took place for 10 minutes without any warning. So the people did not actually got the time to get out of the place. So the fighting lasted for 10 minutes. I'm really sorry. Yeah, one second. The fighting lasted for 10 minutes till the troops ran out of ammunition. So जब तक गोलियां खत्म नहीं हो गई, तब तक firing चलती रही. And finally, after 10 minutes, 10 minutes was quite long to finish everyone off. This kept on going. According to the official estimates, 379 people were killed and more than thousands were injured. Unofficial estimates put the toll at more than 1,000. Basically, लोगों का मानना है, according to the reports, in this brutality that happened in Jallianwala Bagh massacre, approximately 300, 400 people were killed. But if I talk about the unofficial numbers, the number was actually more than 1,000, because it's really not possible for at least 1,000 people to get injured and only 300 people to get killed, because where they would have gone if the army fired for approximately 10 minutes. So I guess the number, we can believe the unofficial estimates more over here. after the incident, martial law was declared, and many people in Punjab, especially Amritsar, were flogged and forced to crawl on the streets. Basically, हुआ क्या था? Martial law, guys. A lot of people have a lot of problems in understanding what martial law is. So, whenever a martial law is introduced in a country, it means that only the military will be responsible for the day-to-day functioning. The police will not be responsible. Martial law का मतलब होता है कि सिर्फ आर्मी रूल करेगी उस एरिया पे, आर्मी का राज चलेगा for some time till the time martial law is lifted. So martial law is related to the rule of military. Okay, so like this was a lot of insult for the Indians. A lot of people were killed, and the people who were safe, the people who were not dead, the people who were staying in the areas, they were forced to crawl on the streets. They were forced to crawl. बेसिकली जिसको हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं कि नाक रगड़ने पे मजबूर कर दिया, इस तरीके से इंडियंस की हालत हो गई थी उस टाइम पे. एंड दिस एक्ट वाज एन एक्ट ऑफ शेम, and it brought a lot of shame to the Indians, and it was a very disturbing act that had happened actually. And ये act इतना बुरा था जिसके बाद महात्मा गांधी came out and he returned his Kaisar-e-Hind title to the Britishers. So it was, he non-cooperated against it. He boycotted all his titles. And apart from that, Rabindranath Tagore also called it as a black day in the history of Indian independence. And he also returned his title of knighthood to the Britishers. Here's a picture of Jallianwala Bagh ground. If you can see, there are some bullets. Like if you can see, that these are marked actually. So this is how it exactly happened, just to give you like a clear insight of how actually the place looks like. So this is actually these are the bullet marks on the wall, and in the well, this is the well actually, where a lot of people went inside just to save their lives, but the bullets followed them there, right? So this was actually one of the reason why non-cooperation started, because of the Rowlatt Act. So people started boycotting their products. People starting with Mahatma Gandhi. He boycotted his titles. Rabindranath Tagore boycotted his titles, and along with that, a lot of other things were boycotted, like foreign clothing. Liquor shops were picketed. So all these things had happened, and that's what made non-cooperation movement come into the picture. So in the next session, we'll be certainly talking about the non-cooperation movement, which started from 1920. We'll be talking about that. But before I end this session, let me just try to inform you something about the timeline, which I've mentioned over here. So there are some important events of Indian national movement, which started from 1900 to 1932. But I've taken the timeline from 1916. Champaran Satyagraha, 1916. 1917 Khera Satyagraha, 1918 Ahmedabad Satyagraha, 1919 Rowlatt Act, 1920 Khilafat movement and non-cooperation movement. Then we have 1922 Chauri Chauda movement, which was a movement which stopped non-cooperation movement because it was a violence act happened in UP Gorakhpur. Then 1923 we have the formation of Swaraj Party by Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru. 1927, the appointment of Simon Commission for the recorrection of Indian Constitution. Go Simon back के नारे लगे थे उस time पे. 1929, the Lahore session, after which it was the civil disobedience movement got introduced. 1930, Salt Satyagraha happened and civil disobedience का start हुआ था. First round table conference in London. 1931, Gandhi-Irwin Pact, second round table conference, stopping of the civil disobedience movement. The 1932 communal awards happened in London, and Pune Pact signed between Mahatma Gandhi and Ambedkar for the reservation of Dalits, and third roundtable conference. So this was the entire timeline which you guys need to remember. इसके पीछे पूरी हिस्ट्री तो आप लोग को बहुत अच्छे से पता ही है, and I will be coming up with more such sessions. In case if you want to understand something, if there's any doubt, please make sure that you're putting every doubt in the comment section, and do let me know how did you like the session. So before I end, let me just tell you something about Unacademy Plus. Okay, so if you're somebody who has just come in class 10th, or if you're someone who's going from class 10th to 11th, this is for both. So this is Unacademy's new feature which I would like to tell you about, which is Ask a Doubt. So all you have to do guys, if there's any doubt, अगर आपके पास कोई भी डाउट है होमवर्क से रिलेटेड, एग्जाम से रिलेटेड, तो आप अपने सारे डाउट्स पूछ सकते हो. बेसिकली आपको करना ये है that you have to open the application and there will be an option of ask a doubt over here at the top itself, and the moment you click it, you can choose your pictures, you can choose your doubts. You can take a picture or you can choose it from the gallery as well. So the moment you choose it, there will be something like that, and you can crop your picture as well. So that's the option. Suppose if you want to like ask one question, तो आप सिर्फ एक question भी crop कर सकते हो. उसके अलावा after you choose your question, you can choose the subject that the question falls under. Apart from that, you just have to sit tight till the time you get the solution. So it's kind of very very interesting. अगर आपको maths में या science में कोई भी doubt है तो आप पूछ सकते हो, and it's this feature is available 24/7 on Unacademy. So really sorry. So till the time you ask the doubt, you will get it. So just make sure that you ask the doubt. Apart from that, guys, okay. So let me just tell you something about the Unacademy subscription. तो जिन लोगों ने Unacademy subscription नहीं लिया है, for all those people, this is actually the correct time to take it. So suppose if you're taking the subscription for more than 6 months, you will get an opportunity to pay through EMI. You don't have to really pay one time. You can just pay in parts. Apart from that, if you take the subscription for 12 months, you can apply this referral code, which is what we call as SS Live 10. आप ये referral code apply कर सकते हैं to get 10% off. My courses are related from class 9th. They're live on Unacademy as well. And I'll be coming. If you liked what I just taught you, then please do take the subscription, utilize the referral code, and take it for at least 12 months so that your entire year is covered. And you will also get the subscription for class 11th and 12th consecutively free as well. So that will be a really good and it's very cheap, guys, if we compare it with the offline tuitions. So just make sure that you're taking the subscription. Apart from that, there's one more thing, which is what we call as Unacademy Iconic subscription. Now this is more like a personalized subscription, जिसमें आपको एक particular personal mentor provide कराया जाता है. You can get one-on-one guidance from all the top educators on related to your concern. There will be like a proper doubt clearing session that you can attend to get your doubts cleared. Apart from that, there's a weekly report that is generated and related to your performance. And apart from that, you can also make your parents get in touch with your personal mentor so that they can also try to understand your performance as well. And there's also like a study planner which is specially designed for you if you're a part of Unacademy Iconic subscription. And उसके अलावा प्लस के सारे benefits तो मिलते ही हैं आपको, but the only catch is it comes for 3 months, a minimum of 3 months, but it's very worthy because it's certainly cheaper than what we pay at the physical tuitions. The only case is if you want to take the subscription either plus or either iconic, you have to apply this referral code SS Live 10. तो जैसे ही आप ये कोड यूज करोगे आपको 10% का ऑफ मिलेगा. इफ यू वांट मोर डिस्काउंट यू कैन क्लिक ऑन प्रोसीड टू पे, और आप अपने क्रेडिट्स भी अप्लाई कर सकते हो, जिसके बाद your subscription cost will be very low, and if you compare it per month, it's going to be less than it's going to be less than 3,000, which is for all the subjects, a personal tutor, and every benefit which Unacademy provides to you. So just make sure that you are taking the subscription as soon as possible. I'll be seeing you in the further classes. And guys, please do not forget to apply this referral code SS Live 10. If you liked what I just taught you and you want me to come up every day with such new content and important questions, MCQs, quizzes, different topics, different questions. So just apply the referral code, take the Unacademy Plus and Iconic subscription. I shall be seeing you very, very soon in the next few sessions. And till then, download the Unacademy app if you have not, from Play Store and from Google Play as well. Try all these features, ask a doubt, take the subscription by using the referral code SS Live 10. I'll be seeing you in the next class very, very soon. Thank you so much. Have a nice day and I'll see you. Bye-bye. Take care of yourself. Let's crack it.